Welcome back to Scores More, and once again, Dee Harris was at Aero Arena for another good contest as the Lexington Minutemen coming to town, a rivalry matchup. It was a really good game.
Man, let me tell you something. These two teams, they went to war tonight. There's no other way to put it. The Arrows they pulled it back, but they weren't able to really keep the momentum that they had last week. But, we'll see in the highlights. Check this out.
The Lexington Minutemen came to town to face the Ashland Arrows Friday night to try to take one on the road. The game began with some back and forth as both teams went bucket for bucket in the early going of tonight's game. Here, we would see both teams look for different ways to score as Lexington's Batum Forup would make his presence known inside early on during his 20-point affair, banging inside and smashing the offensive glass, as he was also helped out by Elijah Hudson from the three-point line. Ashland would recover as the 49-point combo of Grayson Sturry and Luke Denbo gave the Arrows a 10-point lead before we went into halftime. They would try to keep the momentum going with a deep three, a deep one from Sturry, and then Denbo continued to show out. However, the Minutemen would stay the course, kept playing their game, and they would begin to continue to chip away. The lead for Ashland would slowly disintegrate as the game was tied up late in the fourth quarter. Lexington, with their offensive rebounding and their ability to take advantage of costly turnovers near the end of the game and icing the game at the free throw line, helped them edge past Ashland for a 73-71 victory.
What a big road victory for the Minutemen. On the road, down 13 points. How they come back, D?
Well, like I said, the Arrows weren't super able to keep that momentum going from last week. So what basically happened tonight was the Arrows had probably a big 13-point lead at a different points of the game, and then it wound up having a 10-point lead going to the half. But the biggest factor was rebounds and turnovers. And I always say it in basketball, the most important stats, rebounds and turnovers. So the Minutemen, they wound up out rebounding Ashland like 40-24. That's a big factor. Plus, they both had, I believe, about 12 turnovers during the whole game. But the thing is, Ashland's turnovers came at very critical times during this evening. So like late in the game, like very late in the game, like maybe with 4 or 5 minutes left. And it really hurt them when they would turn the ball over to Lexington. And they just were never able to step over that hump of having it was only a 2-point deficit as we wrap this up. But yeah, it was just a little bit too much for them to recover from.
Yeah, and Lexington's one of the bigger teams in the area. And what I was impressed with, I saw them last week against Clear Fork, is their defensive intensity. Not really allowing an offense kind of get going, especially against a very good, high, potent offense from Ashland. How's their defense tonight?
Their defense was very solid, very stout. But I can't take anything away from Ashland either. These two teams went tit for tat the entire game on defense and on offense. So as far as Lexington goes, I think that defense will be a problem for anybody. But hats off to Ashland as well for just being able to, fight through it at different points.
Yeah, it's a tough loss, too, especially you don't want to lose conference games, especially to a rival. But for Lexington, a much improved team after maybe more of a tougher year for them as they get a win over Clear Fork, another rivalry matchup for them. I mean, it seems like Lexington plays a rivalry matchup every week, it seems like. But obviously coming on the road in conference play and getting a kind of a statement victory, especially because a lot of people didn't know what we were going to get out of Lexington. We thought they were going to be improved, but clearly after a win at Ashland, they're going to be a team to watch in that Ohio Cardinal Conference race. What do you think, Dee?
I totally think so. Like I said, their defense is going to be a problem for anybody they face. I was very impressed with Lexington tonight. I was very impressed with the effort. Just a great concerted effort. And I really like how they feed the man in the middle. They don't just always take jump shots. It's always a different look. Every time you want to, get a shot off or get a good look at the basket, it's always a different look. So they make sure, if you're a defense, an opposing defense, they make sure that you're on your toes the whole time.
Well, thank you so much, Dee. As that was another good game. You seem to have all the good games and fun games this year, apparently.
Yeah, I know all you guys are jealous. I always get the good ones. So hopefully that doesn't come back and bite me, and I'm gonna get a good one next week. But hey, I mean, I'm loving it so far. I always get the good games.
Thank you. We'll see you next time, Dee, on Scores and More, and that will do it for tonight. As we had another good show for you. So thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on Scores and More.